Oh, a bit of both, really. Sort of loose diva, really.
You were born singing, weren't you?
I was, actually. I can't remember when I didn't do it. People do often say to me, when did you decide to become a singer? And I don't think I ever did decide to be one. I just always was one. It was just what I was born to be.
What's great about you, in the past I've seen you with a big orchestra, but now it's just you, your voice, and a piano.
Well, I really wanted to challenge myself with that. It's Lesley Garrett unplugged, basically, because I have for many years I've toured with big orchestras and love doing that, and we'll do that again. But just for this particular tour, which is a very special tour for me, because it's my 30th anniversary this year of being a professional singer, and I'm actually so kind of grateful, really, to the public for allowing me to do this job that I absolutely adore for all these years. I just very much wanted to sort of strip myself bare, as it were, not literally, don't panic, everybody, but just be there by myself, just me and my voice, and I've brought a lovely friend of mine, a colleague from Covent Garden, Nick Folwell, who's coming around with me, so I can do some duets, because I do love to present scenes from operas, and shows when I'm able to. So it's just me and Andrew West, my pianist, a very gorgeous piano, and my mate Nick, and I'm just going to be singing for a couple of hours music that I absolutely adore. But, I've taken a lot of care of my voice over these years. It might surprise you, Alex, to know that I still have singing lessons every single week.
Really?
And I'm in training all the time. It's the only way you can do it, really, because I'm absolutely determined not to disappoint my fans, and not to allow my voice to deteriorate ever. And I'm convinced that the way to do that, and the proof of the pudding is in the eating, is to continue to train and to maintain and develop my instrument, my sound, my body, which is, because the thing about being a singer is you are your instrument. And I will continue to do that, so I can present more challenging programmes always to the public. And that's what I'm doing with the tour that I'm on at the moment.
You see, I love that about you. It's a sign of such a true star and a natural talent that you're not hiding behind anything. Because I think these big production shows that you see with all the stars now, it's very easy to cover up anything when you've got 15,000 dancers, a big set, a big screen, and 40 million people in a band.
Absolutely, and when you've got a sound system, you can actually, you can hide a lot behind a sound system. And of course, I do use sound systems if I'm singing outdoors, if I'm singing in a massive venue when I've got a 60-piece orchestra on the stage with me, and I'm singing 20 numbers. You need a little bit of help there. But I just want to show the public, really, show my fans and my friends that after 30 years, I am better than I've ever been. I just want to stand there, just myself, almost as it were naked, and just show my fans and friends that my voice is as good, if not better, than it's ever been. And I just want to, you can achieve an enormous intimacy that way when you've nothing to hide behind. You can really, really share your innermost feelings about this music and about the people that you're singing to. The level of communication in such a situation, I think, is remarkable, because there's nothing getting in between you and your audience, and I love that. That's what gives me the biggest high ever, to feel that I'm truly reaching people's hearts.
You're the diva from Doncaster who everybody loves, and I want you to take this in the spirit it's intended. Do you think people love you so much because of your voice or your personality? Because I think the two are so important with you. There's a million classical singers who we can't be bothered to listen to, but you're so warm on stage. Do you know what I mean?
I thought it was the Frocks, love, actually. It might not be the Frocks.
Certain percentage of the audience, maybe. But
no, I tell you, I think it's very sweet of you to say that, and I really appreciate that. And I think the two go hand in hand, because, if you don't have a kind of, an empathy and a warmth for your audience and for the music that you love, then you're not going to get anywhere, are you, really? I think you have to be hopefully a generous-spirited, warm human being to be able to appreciate the music in the first place, and then you need to want to share that with the public. And I think that's, for me, that's just a natural instinct to want to communicate. It's interesting, over the years I've observed this. It's almost as if you need two talents to be a successful singer. You need to have the obvious ability. You need to have the raw talent. You have to have a voice and to have a technique to be able to project that voice. But then separately And in addition, you have to have this powerful need to communicate how you feel about music to your audience, to want to communicate passion, I think. That's the bottom line. I've always felt incredibly passionate about music and about the emotions that it allows me to experience and allows me to create in other people.
Don't you think as well in live theatre they'll suss you if you're a fraud and doing it just for the money?
Absolutely. You must never patronise your audience. And I think audiences are the most discerning people. I mean, it goes into your music. What you have to do is take these knocks and these experiences and allow it to inform your music. And if you can do that, then you'll grow and you'll be a better and better performer.
Don't you think from being around here as well makes you humble in a sense that if you went back to the clubs now being the star you are, you'd still have to be off for 9:30 for the bingo?
Absolutely, and so you should. Damn right. Get your priorities right. Whether it's Mozart or Rodgers and Hammerstein, whether it's Andrew Lloyd Webber or Purcell, all of whom are going to be featured in my concert, you have just got to, in a sense, feel the same about all those composers, because it's just good music that will hopefully really ignite your imagination and inflame your passion, because that's my job. And I love all these different composers, and I have to find what that composer wants me to do with his or her music. It's my job to discover that and bring that to you, and that's what I find fascinating about singing, and always will, even after 30 years. To find a new song and think, now what have I got to convey with this? What was this composer thinking about when he or she read this piece of poetry and decided to make a song out of it? And it's just fascinating, it's that, and I just love it.
And the great thing about you is you sing all these foreign songs that we don't necessarily understand, but then you explain them afterwards.
Well, I do, because I love singing in original languages. I love singing in English, and the majority of my concert is in English, but some of the operatic arias and the duets are in Italian, and I always explain what I'm singing about and give the context of each piece. But I also just like to chat, and I'll tell a few funny stories, and I'll ask, how people are, and, just generally make it a wonderful night's entertainment. So, people who come mustn't think, well, anybody who knows me will know it won't be like this, but it's not a fantastically formal thing, a Lesley Garrett concert. It's a bit like you were in your front room at home having a bit of a sing-song, and your auntie, who has a bit of a cracking voice, is there giving it a bit of welly.
My auntie sounds nothing like you, Lesley. Let me How smart are you technically with the songs you sing?
Well, I did have a wonderful training. I was 6 years at the Royal Academy of Music, a 7th year then at the National Opera Studio, and I was a good 12 years as a classical opera singer, straightforward opera singer, mostly at English National Opera, but at all the other companies in Britain and all over the world, before I, if you like, went into being a classical entertainer. And a lot of singers, of sort of classical crossover, if you like, I hate that word myself, sounds like a bra, but a lot of these crossover singers now really haven't had that kind of background and only sing amplified with microphones, and that's fantastic, and I'm really not knocking them. They're great performers, but I think I just wanted to show the public that I can actually do it without. I can fill a 2,000-seater hall just with my natural sound, because I am quite, I suppose, proud of the fact that I've maintained my training, and I've absolutely kept my technique as it ever was, and better still, hopefully. It just gives me a bit of satisfaction to be able to fill a big hall like that, just by myself, and so that's what I'm going to do.
And is loose women good for putting bums on seats?
Oh, loose women is just, listen, shall I tell you? Between you and me, loose women is my social life. I go there for the fun, and absolutely it puts bums on seats. I mean, I've got to be honest. Now, when I walk down the street, it's as much, it's our Lesley, it's that singer, it's as much that as, our Lesley the loose woman. So, yeah. It's become part of who I am, my personality, and I'm very, very grateful that it is, because it's a fabulous show, and it deals with real issues, real subjects, real people, real women and men. We've got some brave men who, tune in, I know, and I feel privileged to be with those extraordinary women. And if you want to have a natter at the end of the show, come round to the stage door, and I'll be there having a bit of a crack.
Save that voice, you've got a show to do. Lesley Garrett, lovely to talk to you. Thanks for coming
Alex.
on.
Thank you, Alex.
Alex Belfield.